Hello and welcome to This Date in History, aka TDH. This show is about what happened today throughout the annals of recorded history. Join us as we delve into yesteryear, not only for interesting and important happenings, but to possibly even answer questions you don't know you have. The sources of this information come from the smart device application Today in History, What Happened Today in History, Historical Calendar, and the website onthisday.com. For links to these sources, the music in the background, and anything else potentially interesting, including but not limited to all things Omni Coalition, please check the underbar in the description below. Anyway, let's get into the history today, shall we? Today is, anyway, I am Aoxander, of course, you, viewer, are you. Today is September 11th, 2023. It is Moon's Day, aka Monday. So, starting in the year 9, we have the Battle of, that's interesting, 9/11, huh? The Battle of Tirtug Forest ended after 4 days with a Germanic alliance defeating Roman forces and putting an end to expansion of the empire east of the Rhine. Ooh. Moving on up to 813, Louis the Pious was crowned co-emperor with Charlemagne of the Carolingian Empire. Carolingian. Ah, alright. And we also have in 1910, Benedictine Abbey of Cluny was founded by William, Duke of Aquitaine in Burgundy, France. This is one of the greatest monasteries of Western Europe. So, Benedictine Abbey of Cluny. Let's take a look at this here. Images. Ooh. So it's, okay. So that looks pretty cool. And we just got joined by
the Golden Loon.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
We're already in 910. We've only covered a couple things here, actually. But we're just looking at here the Benedictine Abbey of Cluny was just founded by William, Duke of Aquitaine in Burgundy, France. It's one of the greatest monasteries of Western Europe.
And when was it built?
910.
Jeez.
Founded, yeah. So, yeah.
No relation to George Clooney, huh?
I don't know, actually. You don't know.
True.
There actually might be. Who knows? It's a rabbit hole that if anybody in the audience watching this, be it present or in the future, would like to go down that rabbit hole and let us know in the comment section, that would be delightful. But as for us, we got to move on up to 1185. Isaac II Angelus killed Stephanus Hagiochristophoretes and then appealed to the people, resulting in the revolt that deposed Andronicus the First Communus and placed Isaac on the throne of the Byzantine Empire. Whoa, that's a series of events.
Yeah. Also a mouthful.
Yeah. Well, this guy's name right here is just like what?
Yeah.
Like,
good luck.
Yeah. 1213. Chinese General Qin Sheng assassinated Emperor Wei Xiao Wang, former Prince of Wei, in Peking and proclaimed himself regent. 1226. The Roman Catholic practice of public adoration of the Blessed Sacrament outside of Mass spreads from monasteries to parishes. So, I guess this particular type of worship was mainly in one area of, like, as far as where to be held.
Okay.
And then they spread it to, because a parish is like a settlement, right?
Yeah, it's like your flock, your personal flock. It's the parish for the community.
Yeah. So outside of Mass, so this is the Roman Catholic practice of public adoration of the Blessed Sacrament outside of Mass spread it from monasteries to parishes. So. Yeah, so it's like a trickle-down effect,
yeah.
I think, if I'm making any sense.
I'm not quite sure. It's kind of ambiguous.
Yeah. Well, if anybody can explain that better, please do so in the comment section. Anyway, 1229, Ogedei, son of Genghis Khan, was elected the Mongolian Khan, succeeding Genghis after his father's death, or September 13th. So we're probably going to read this again here in a couple of days. Well, that's interesting. So the son of Genghis Khan becomes the Khan.
Yeah.
Khan!
Never heard anything about him. I don't know if he was as vicious as his father. Probably.
Well, I mean, and this isn't even him. This is Genghis Khan. Well, Genghis Khan was a force of nature. Like, he literally killed so many people. He changed the carbon, output, on the planet. Like,
footprint?
Yeah, footprint. Like, he killed so many people. But then at the same time, he procreated so often. He had, how many thousands of children? Tens of thousands of children? I think 1 million children? I don't know.
I don't even know how he could have 10,000.
Like, you know what? Let me look this up actually. How many children did Genghis Khan have? It says here 11, but that's official. Like, did Genghis Khan have 500 children? Historical records of Genghis Khan children are incomplete, but Genghis did have at least 13 children, 8 sons and 5 daughters. The tradition claims Genghis Khan had a total of 120 children with as many concubines and wives. His 9 children were from his wife Bort. So, well...
Yeah, that would be official, you know. It would be considered his family.
Yeah.
Concubines don't count.
Yeah, but like, and I don't know, hold on. How many people in China related to Genghis Khan? 10 other men left genetic legacies so huge they rival. So since a 2003 study found evidence that Genghis Khan's DNA is present in about 16 million men alive today. So, like,
yeah,
it was ridiculous. But we got to move on. We're spending so much time on Genghis here. We're going to move on to 1297, the Battle of Stirling Bridge. Scottish rebel William Wallace defeated the English. Freedom! Yeah, good old William Wallace. Ended up getting beheaded, unfortunately. But
yeah.
When you look at throughout history, everybody who actually like tried to stand up for the common people ended up like executed. You know, William Wallace, JFK, MLK. Wasn't Gandhi executed? I'm not sure.
I don't think so.
Jesus, Lincoln,
well, assassinated, killed, yeah.
Assassinated, killed, yeah. That's what I'm saying. They were killed off by everybody who actually stood up for the people ended up killing them in one way or another. Like, not the people, but like, some... You get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
1390, Lithuanian Civil War, that started in 1389 and would go on for another 2 years. The Teutonic Knights began a 5-week siege of Vilnius. 1593, Michelangelo began sculpting the 12 apostles for the Cathedral of Florence over life-size marble statues, of which only one was partly finished, that of St. Matthew. Huh. Alright. We also have 1541, Santiago in Chile was destroyed by indigenous warriors led by Mishimalonco. Mishimalonco, that's a name. 1557, Catholic and Lutheran theology was debated in Worms. And Worms was I guess Worms is a city or something, because there's
I
a
have
lot
no
of
idea.
There's like the diet of worms, and it's not about eating worms. It's
right.
It's like a convention or something, like some kind of political thing. Like, let me just look this up.
It's not necessarily a place.
Diet of worms. The main events of the Diet of Worms relating to Luther took place from 16th to the 18th of April, 1521. On April 16th, Luther arrived in Worms. So, like, Worms is a place.
It is a place, okay.
Yeah, Worms, Holy Roman Empire.
Okay.
So, and it was where a lot of politics were discussed for whatever reason. Like, I guess it was it's like on the same table comparable to Versailles. Because, the Palace of Versailles, a lot of, politics happened there, from the 1700s to the almost modern day, Moving on up, we have 1609, expulsion order announced against the Moriscos of Valencia, beginning of the expulsion of all Spain's Moriscos. What's a Morisco?
Oh, I'm not knowing this stuff.
What is a Morisco? A Moor in Spain, especially one who had accepted Christian baptism.
Oh,
okay. All right, I'm going to add this link in the underbar of the description below. Post show, of course. Where's my I don't have it. Wait, here it is. All right. What else do we got here? 1645. Thomas Fairfax's New Model Army occupied Bristol. All right, we spoke about the New Model Army a while ago. We also have in 1649 the massacre of Drogheda in Ireland. Oliver Cromwell killed 3,000 royalists.
Whoa!
Holy crap! Oliver Cromwell, that's a name that's in my brain.
Yeah.
Well, this is probably one of the reasons why, he killed 3,000 people. 1697, the Battle of Zenta, forces of Prince Eugene of Savoy defeated the Turks ending Ottoman control of large parts of Central Europe. Yeah, the Ottomans were coming in hard and fast. So,
Yeah.
and like before that, I believe, or actually, I think it was I don't know, remember the exact timeline, but for a while there was a large Muslim presence in Europe, especially in Spain, until like all the Christians kicked them out with the Crusades and all that whatnot. So, but yeah, the Muslims got as far up into Europe and stuff, and now they're completely in there.
Yeah, now they're back.
Yeah, you hear about the London's first Muslim mayor tried to ban Christmas. Oh yeah, he really has everybody's good intentions in his heart. Sure. 1708, Great Northern War. Charles XII of Sweden stopped his march to conquer Moscow outside Smolensk, marking the turning point in the war. Yeah, dude, don't stop the momentum. You got to keep going. Like, now you're sitting ducks. 1773, Benjamin Franklin wrote, quote, there never was a good war or bad peace, end quote. Yeah, that's very true. 1777, Battle of Brandywine in Pennsylvania. Americans lost to the British. Polish soldier Kazimierz Pulaski saved the life of George Washington. So, like, all this time, I've just been hearing, like, all these jokes and, taking the piss out of Polish people. Like, how many Poles does it take to change a light bulb? Well, if it wasn't for this Polish individual, we probably wouldn't have become a country. So we gotta give credit where credit is due. Poland, you guys are, special in my heart now, in a good way. So... We also have 1786, the Annapolis Convention to determine interstate commerce.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's a biggie.
That is a biggie, Like, because it is now actual interstate. We are separate states under a unified federal government by this time.
The interstate commerce had to flow freely, no restrictions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was the whole key to it.
Well, setting up an interstate thing to begin with. How are we going to, what's the good trade routes, all that stuff, And 200 years later, actually 170 years later, roughly, I think, if I'm doing my math correctly, is when we started actually really doing the freeways, the Freeway Act under FDR.
No, that was...
Johnson?
No, back before that, right after the war. The general.
Eisenhower. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, that's right.
He's the one that got it all the way across the country.
Yeah. Anyway, 1789, Alexander Hamilton was appointed the first Secretary of the U.S. Treasury. All right. 1792, the French Blue Gem, later known as the Hope Diamond, was stolen with other French crown jewels from Royal Storehouse in Paris during the Reign of Terror. So what is the Reign of Terror? Let's look this up here. Reign of Terror. Paris. I don't know how to spell Paris. Reign of Terror. It was a period of the French Revolution when, following the creation of the First Republic, a series of massacres and numerous public executions took place in response to revolutionary fervor, anti-lyrical sentiments, and accusations of treason by the Committee of Public Safety. So everything, went to shit.
It's a revolution.
Yeah.
As the Beatles said.
Yeah. The Beatles' revolution was a lot less bloody. Even though those Brits only go, bloody hell, mate. Oh, bloody this, bloody that, bloody cheese in a pancake. 1802, France annexed the Kingdom of Piedmont. And actually, I want to get back to this Hope Diamond, because you know about, the curse of the Hope Diamond and all that stuff. Well, do you know where it resides right now?
No idea.
I believe, where is the Hope Diamond? It is in the Smithsonian Institution.
Ooh.
On November 10th, 1958, they donated the Hope Diamond to the Smithsonian Institution, and almost immediately the Great Blue Stone became its premier attraction. Now, think about this. Now, whatever owns the Hope Diamond gets incredible bad luck, right?
Supposedly, yeah.
Okay. Well, what happened since 1958 to the U.S.? Vietnam, all of this, governmental and corporate corruption.
But that doesn't have anything to do with the Smithsonian Institute.
It's still property of the U.S. So the U.S. itself is the owner of the Hope Diamond. Therefore, the U.S. is getting bad luck.
I think that's a stretch. I think you have to look at it directly at the Smithsonian Institute.
Okay, well, you're not getting what I'm trying to say here.
I'm getting it. I'm just disagreeing.
Okay. Anyway, in 1814 began on the September 6th. The U.S. defeated British at the Battle of Plattsburgh during the War of 1812. Wow. So since that's what, 5 days ago? Yeah. So 5 days of battle. Then we finally defeated them. That's a weird name for a war. Anyway, the War of 1812, and this is 1814.
Yeah, I know.
And I remember that, there was a meme that's like, oh, when did the War of 1812 happen? Oh, 1812. Incomplete answer. Yeah. Incomplete title. Yeah. 1839, first Canadian track and field meet held at Care Hallwell grounds. All right. 1847, we have the first singing of Stephen Foster's "Oh, Susanna" in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Don't you cry for me. 1850, opera singer Jenny Lind, the Swedish Nightingale, gave the first U.S. concert at Castle Garden in New York City, promoted by P.T. Barnum.
Oh, really?
Ooh, the circus guy.
Yeah.
2 years later, in 1852, Olympia Columbian was the first newspaper published north of Columbia River. All right. 365 days later, in 1853, the first electric telegraph was used from Merchants Exchange, San Francisco, to Point Lobos, California. All right.
Oh, Point Lobos.
Oh. Electric telegraph.
Wow. That's kind of cool.
1857, Mountain Meadows Massacre. Mormons dressed as Indians murdered 120 colonists in Utah. Yeah, that's another reason why I'm not too fond of the Mormons, because their religion is first and foremost based on hate, because they believe, and this is not incorrect. This is in their belief. They believe Native Americans' skin color is red because Jesus Christ came to the Americas and they did not accept him as their Lord and Savior, so as punishment, God turned their skin red. That is in their actual thing. That's what they believe. And then now they're going around trying to make the natives look bad or look even worse by going around dressing as them and murdering colonists. Then again, we also did dress as natives when we did the Boston Tea Party, so there's that. So,
yeah, I don't know what to say.
There's a lot of screwed up things in history. So
I don't know Mormonism well enough to dispute you.
Well, I know more than I want to know. 1877, Rijksland Bogowie School opened in Wageningen. What the hell kind of what did I just read? Am I drunk? I feel like I just slurred soberly. How did that happen? While that was going on, we have the Russo-Turkish War, third Russian assault on Plevna, Ottoman Empire, which is now Pleven in Bulgaria, aided by Romanian forces, mostly failed, although the Romanians took Grivista, up to 20,000 Russian and 6,000 Turk casualties. Yikes. So 26,000 people in total casualties. That's both dead and wounded, whatever. Yeah. 1881, triple landslides bury Elm, Switzerland. Yikes. So 1, 2, 3 times a lady. 1883, American architect, or actually U.S. architect, James Cutler patented postal mail chute for Elwood Building, Rochester, New York.
What the heck does that mean?
Postal mail, I guess that's kind of...
Oh, a mail chute.
A mail chute,
Yeah. Throw your mail down there and it comes out. And then they
postal
take it
mail
away.
chute. Okay, yeah.
All
right. Cool, so we didn't have one until 1883. Somebody had to patent it. That's a weird thing to, just... 1885, Ambrose Bierce finished as editor of the Wasp magazine. Okay. 1885, we got that. 1888, death of the Argentine politician Domingo Sarmiento, after whom the Latin American Teachers' Day was chosen. All right. 2 years later, in 1890, we have the British Open Men's Golf at Prestwick Golf Course. John Ball became first Englishman and first amateur to win the Open, defeated Willie Fernie and Archie Simpson by 3 strokes. All right. 1891, the Jewish Colonization Association was established by Baron Maurice de Hirsch. Okay. It's a little weird. Why do they have to have their own establishment to colonize places? Why can't they just go to places? That's a little strange.
Well, I guess they were establishing a Jewish colony.
That seems a little segregationalist, don't you think?
Well, they did that all the time.
Yeah.
For different sects and religions.
1893, Bronx Gas and Electric Company opened on Frisbee and Tremont Avenue. All right. 1893 as well, we have the first conference of the World Parliament of Religions was held in Chicago. Indian monk Swami Vivekananda gave influential speech.
Chicago, huh?
Chicago, yeah, right here.
Yeah.
World Parliament of Religions, that's cool.
Yeah.
They're all like getting together and talking. 1893, Shaku Soen is first Zen teacher to visit the West, once again in Chicago. I think this is the same thing. Yeah, like he must have been attending this parliament because this is the same date and same area.
Yeah.
So, and he's a Zen teacher. So there you go. 1895, the FA Cup was stolen in Birmingham. Ooh, that's not good.
The what cup?
The FA Cup. Let's see here. Like, I think that's a football association. That's FA Cup.
I have no idea.
Yeah, this one here. So this was stolen in Birmingham. Birmingham of all places. Yeah.
So it is a football cup, huh?
Yeah, FA. I think that's yeah. Here we go. Soccer. That's
Okay.
definitely football. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that guy. He's in the middle of dying. He's like ah. He's like, nobody hams it up more than football players. You know, a feather hits them.
Yeah.
Oh my God, my arm is broken. 1897, after months of pursuit, generals of Menelik II of Ethiopia captured Gaki Sheriko, the last king of Kaffa, bringing an end to that ancient kingdom. Wow.
I wonder what they replaced it with.
Well, I think Ethiopia was nationalizing. So
yeah, I believe you're right. I don't know back then, but they were eventually for sure.
Because I think I either read something somewhere. It could have been a million things, but like. I think it was Ethiopia or Uganda or something. Something recent happened. I either watched it in a video or I read it somewhere or it was in a show that they were getting rid of all their kingdoms and becoming their own country. So, anyway, moving on up to 1903, we have the first race at the Milwaukee Mile in West Allis, Wisconsin, was held. This is the oldest major speedway in the world.
Ah.
Ooh. 1906. Speaking of Gandhi, actually, was he assassinated? He was. Gandhi was assassinated. Well, I asked that earlier. Neither of us really knew.
Yeah,
so,
we didn't know.
Okay, well now we know. 906, Mahatma Gandhi coined the term satyagraha to characterize the non-violence movement in South Africa. Huh.
Non-violent, and he died violently.
Well, same with MLK. You know, same with Jesus.
Yeah.
You know, same with, and Jesus, whether he existed or not, okay, it doesn't matter. There's, people were doing all that violent executions, so. Anyway, we also have 1909, German astronomer Max Wolf rediscovered Halley's Comet. Okay. I don't know how you, rediscover something, and there's something dangling right out of the side of my eye or something. Maybe I'm, imagining it.
Glasses?
I don't know. It's been bothering me for a while. I don't know. Maybe it's a rip in space-time. Anyway, we also have 1910. We have the first commercially successful electric bus line opened in Hollywood.
Yeah, electric.
Yep.
Those are always weird with the poles up to the wires above.
Yeah. We also have 1914. Australia invaded New Britain, defeating a German contingent there. So I guess that has to be during the First World War. But where is New Britain? Hold on. Australia invaded New Britain. Hold on a second. New Britain. Maps. Here we go. Okay. New Britain. Hartford. They did not invade Connecticut. Okay. Hold on a second. New Britain.
So has it got to be in the U.S. then?
No. Australia. What?
You're right.
The Battle of Biddapaka took place on September 11th, 1914, on the island of New Britain. This battle with German reservists and Melanesian police was the first Australian action of the First World War. This battle also saw the first Australian fatal casualties of the First World War. Oh wow.
So the island of New Britain.
Yeah. So let's see. Island of New Britain. Okay. Maps. Give me maps. Where are you? Okay, Papua New Guinea. Okay.
Oh, okay, there it is.
So they went up there. But why is there Germans there? How'd they get there? Why are they there? Like, what the hell? Like, I don't understand. But we gotta move on up here. What else do we have here? 1914, W.C. Handy, father of the blues, published his most famous composition, St. Louis Blues.
Oh.
Yeah. He looks like an OG blues guy.
Yeah.
You know? Has that shirt and tie, like, you know,
Yeah.
so tight around your neck, you know, you can barely breathe.
So W.C. Handy, huh?
Yep.
Father of the blues. Never
Yep.
heard of.
Neither have I.
Apparently I don't know my blues music well enough.
Yeah. Well, here's something interesting. 2 years later, Clarence Saunders opened Piggly Wiggly, the
Ooh.
first self-service supermarket in Memphis, Tennessee. So,
We had a Piggly Wiggly's up in Westchester when I was a kid.
oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're the first, like, supermarket. Now we have, like, you know, Vaughn's, Albertsons,
Yeah.
Alpha Beta, I don't know exists anymore, but, like, you know, Stater
does
Brothers. Yeah, I don't think so. Actually, let me look. Let me look this up. Does Alpha Beta exist?
No.
Yeah, I think they got bought up by something. No, hold on a second. Alpha Beta was a chain, markets, blah, blah, blah. Alpha Beta, Wikipedia. By Ralph's. Ralph's owns it now. Okay.
So they bought it up. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I grew up with Alpha Beta. Anyway, you know, that's how I started learning, you know, a little bit of, like, the Latin, you know, alphabet. You know, alpha, or, yeah, alpha, beta, gamma.
Yeah.
You know, delta, all that stuff. 1916, the Quebec Bridge's central span collapsed during reconstruction, killing 11 men. Yikes! So they were rebuilding it, and it still killed people. I think it's time to give that project up. 3 years later, 1919, the U.S. Marines again sent troops to Honduras. Okay, I don't know why. 1921, Nahalal, the first moshav in Israel, was settled. What is moshav? Let's look that up here. Moshav. It's a type of Israeli town or settlement. Okay.
I gotta ask, 1918, was World War I over?
I think it ended in 19. Hold on, let me look. World War One. When did World War I end? Let me add this link in the underbar in the description.
November 11,
1918. You're right. Yeah. Oh yeah, on the 11th. The 11th hour.
11.
Yeah, the 11th hour on the 11th day of
day.
the 11th month. So,
Yeah. Oh, okay.
11 in
Yeah.
the morning. You know. So yeah. 1922, Australian newspaper The Sun News Pictorial was found, predecessor to the Herald Sun in Melbourne. All right. While that was going on, British Mandate of Palestine begins. Now, what does that mean? Well,
Is that the birth of Palestine?
well, let's check this out. Because Palestine existed before modern-day Israel. The Israelites came from that area, but it was not one nation. It was a bunch of
Right.
tribes. So, you know, the concept of a nation of Israel is far newer than Palestine. So, the mandate for Palestine was a League of Nations mandate for British administration of the territories of Palestine and Transjordan, both of which had been conceded by the Ottoman Empire following the end of World War I in 1918. So that was part of the Ottoman Empire.
Yeah.
So then it became Palestine, and then now Israel's completely, totally
then,
taken it over.
And then I believe it was part of that land went to the Israelis to form Israel from in what 48 or something like
Yeah.
that.
Well, we keep putting people that don't like each other next to each other. So we got
It's not a good combo, that's for sure.
I mean, you know, like, you know, that's how all these modern day Middle Eastern nations. That's why it's so
Come on,
much.
they're all brothers though.
Yeah, like Chicago, where they shoot each other. Isn't that the city of brotherly love? No, wait, no, that's Philadelphia, where they shoot
Yeah.
each other too. 1922, the Treaty of Kars was ratified in Yerevan, Armenia. Treaty of Kars. Was that like actual vehicles?
I don't think so.
Treaty of Kars created a new boundary between Turkey and Soviet Armenia, defined by the Arapachi and Aras rivers. All right, so that's interesting. You know, border like agreements. 1923, after a single, Red Sox Howard MK retired the next 27 Yanks. What does that mean? Retired the next 27 Yanks?
Yeah, well,
Like,
there's 27 outs in an inning. When you retire him, it's an out.
Oh, so
he retired 27 straight.
Wow. So he struck out 27 people?
Not struck out, got him out.
Oh, okay.
Straight.
Wow.
So after the first single. So the first batter up, hit a single, got on first base. Then he struck. He got the next 27 out, 9 innings, 9 times 3 is 27.
Wow.
A perfect game is 27 up, 27 down.
Wow. That's
so the first single ruined his perfect game.
That's
no hitters are one thing. Perfect games are way more rare.
That's incredible, though.
Yeah.
While that was going on, Bernie Nees hit the 1,000th Dodger home run. All right. And while that was happening as well, in 1923, ZR-1, the biggest active dirigible, flew over New York's tallest skyscraper, Woolworth Tower.
Woolworth Tower.
Woolworth Tower. So the ZR-1 airship, not the car. Okay, that's a big airship. You can't really tell the size of it. I mean, the biggest active dirigible. Well, I know the Hindenburg was like massive.
Right.
So, let's see the Woolworth Tower. Oh, that one. Okay. So that was at the time the tallest building. Yeah. Look at it out in the lonesome. Now it's like midget. So, anyway, 1926, Aloha Tower was dedicated in Honolulu.
Oh.
All right. Aloha Tower. Let's take a look at this one here. Okay, yeah, it's a clock tower. That's cool. We also have 1926. Spain left the League of Nations due to Germany joining. Ooh, that's interesting. 1926 as well. Yanks Bob Musil tied record with 3 sacrifice flies. What is the sacrifice fly?
You hit a fly to the outfield, and because it advanced the runner, say from second to third, or maybe from third to home.
Okay.
It's called a sacrifice fly.
Okay.
You made an out, but you got to run in.
Okay, that makes sense. 1 year later, 1927, after losing 21 in a row to New York, the Browns won their last meeting 6-2. Wow. So we're getting a lot of like major like discrepancies here, like on both sides of the spectrum, good and bad. Like losing 21 in a row, that's
yeah, that's not good.
As well, 1927, Yankee slugger Babe Ruth hit his 50th home run during his MLB record 60 home run season in New York's 6-2 loss to St. Louis Browns at Yankee Stadium.
Wow, we hit another 10 after this state?
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Yeah. 1928, the first ever TV drama, WGY's Queen's Messenger, was broadcast in the New York area starring Izetta Jewell.
Never heard of it.
Neither have I. While that was going on, Ty Cobb's last hitting appearance popped out against Yankees. Good old Ty Cobb.
Yeah.
365 days later, 1929, San Francisco Mayor Wolf inaugurated new pedestrian traffic light system. So
traffic lights. Whoa.
No, pedestrian. I think that's like a walk.
Oh, yeah, walking. Yeah.
Let me check that out. Pedestrian traffic light system. Yeah. So. To walk across an intersection.
We're not seeing
just,
a 1928 one though.
Well, let's see here. 1928. I know that there's a picture out there that exists. I've seen it. Well, I guess this is like just a normal.
Scroll back up to the top there. Keep right there. See the sign? I remember those in downtown. They pop out.
Yeah.
Stop or go. They were still around.
But now wait a minute. This one has a little push button. You see that?
Yeah. Wait. That doesn't make sense.
Well, I guess that's
to trigger it so you can walk across. I guess.
I guess so. Yeah. Like that's
trigger,
before.
It's gonna trigger the stop sign.
Yeah. So I think that's what came before, like the stop and go thing that we have now.
Yeah.
Like they just completely stopped traffic, like altogether.
Yeah.
At least going that way.
Yeah. There's no yellow.
Yeah.
If that's what you meant.
Yeah, you're right. There was no yellow. It's only red or green.
Yeah. Stop or go.
Yeah. Wow. So yellow is a game changer. Here's one with a yellow. Anyway, we got to move on up here. 1930, Stromboli volcano, Sicily, threw 2-ton ballistic rocks 2 miles. Holy crap.
What? Oh, the volcano.
Yeah, the volcano. So multiple rocks, 2 tons ballistic,
yeah,
and flying for 2 miles. Yikes, dude.
Wouldn't want that to land on me.
No, but I don't think you're going to need to worry about it when it does.
You're squashed like an ant.
Yep. 1931, Salvatore Maranzano was murdered by one of Charles Luciano's hitmen. Ugh. Charles Lucky Luciano.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I guess he was the lucky one. He was the one murdered. 1933, Antwerp's Sports Palace, the largest indoor arena in Europe, opened, renovated later between 2010 and 2013. Huh. Antwerp's Sports Palace. Let's take a look at this. Which, by the way, did you know that there was a massive, like, Turkish bath-style area up by San Francisco?
Yeah.
And got completely destroyed?
No, I didn't know that.
Well, here's this thing.
First I heard of the Turkish bath, it was in the gay reference to AIDS.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, I have no idea anything about that, but
That's the only reason why I know the Turkish bath.
Ruins baths. Let's see if I can find images. Like this actually, like here's the ruins.
Oh yeah, I've seen that before.
We were there.
Yeah.
Like we were up on the cliff up over here, so we saw the ruins from, but it actually it was a structure, and this is what it looked like on the inside. Like this actually existed.
Ooh,
like
nice?
People actually went there.
Yeah.
Like here's an actual historical photo. Like it wasn't just, a concept or something. Like this actually was there. And now it's gone.
Yeah.
And like it's kind of wild because they brought up a point, like like cities like San Francisco are still like very young. When you think about the world, and all that stuff. So many cities, all across Europe, they all have their own ruins, their own like really old areas and all that stuff. We don't have that for the most part out here, but San Francisco with this now we do. We're starting to get ruins.
Well, yeah.
So.
Yeah, and then when San Francisco burned down, they just built it all back up again.
Yeah.
But those aren't ancient ruins.
Still, like
yeah, but you're right. I get what you're saying.
There's no way we're gonna get ancient ruins.
It's
for
just
another
cool
1,000
we were
years.
up there and saw that.
Yeah. And we were up there to look at the Nike missile base, and we ended up stumbling across an entire defensive area that I didn't even realize was there. That's been around since the Civil War era.
Yeah.
And now it has all those cannon embankments and all that.
That was awesome to stumble onto.
Yeah. It's just we found another battery. Oh, there's another. Oh my God, this area looks like D-Day over here.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Anyway, 1936, A's pitcher Horace Lisenby gave up his 26 hits in a game.
Gave up 26 hits?
Yeah. So what? Like just struck out 26 times, or?
No, he gave up 26 hits. In other words, there's only 9 innings. That's almost 3 hits an inning.
Oh wow.
I wonder what the score was.
Huh. Well, let's look this up here real quick. 1936, yeah. Major League for hits allowed, giving up 26 in a 17-2 rout by the Chicago White Sox.
17-2. Okay.
Something tells me he got paid off. That's not good.
Got paid off?
Well, I mean,
why didn't they yank him? At some point, they should have yanked that guy.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's fixed. Like all sporting games, everything is fixed.
Nah.
Yep. 1939, Iraq and Saudi Arabia declared war on Nazi Germany. All right. 1940, between now and the 12th, Buckingham Palace was damaged by German bombs. The Blitz, the Battle of Berlin, or Battle of Britain, not Berlin. 1940 as well, Anton Mussert established the Dutch SS, which I believe is modeled after the German SS.
Sure it is.
And the Netherlands, I believe, were allied with the Germans because Russia was attacking them. Yeah, that's right, the Winter War with the Netherlands. So.
Well, the SS is designed to be power and control.
Mm-hmm. Well, what I'm saying is the Dutch were Nazi collaborators because they had to be, otherwise they would have been taken over by Russia. So to survive, they had to ally themselves with somebody. And Germany was the only other person there.
You don't have two great choices there.
You don't. But then they were used as a belligerent during the opening stages of Operation Barbarossa. Anyway, 1940 as well, George Stibitz pioneers the first remote operation of a computer. Huh.
What? Say that again?
He pioneered the first remote operation of a computer.
Remote?
Yeah, so I guess putting in a keyboard somewhere else. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. That's wild. That early.
What does that even mean? George Stibitz of Bell Telephone Laboratories used his complex number calculator, CNC, to demonstrate remote computing for the first time on September 11th, 1940, when a series of math problems were transmitted over a phone line to a computer, which promptly returned the answers via teletype. Holy crap.
Whoa.
1940.
Whoa.
Wow. Oh.
Whoa, that is incredible.
See, this is why I keep saying, we just get constantly blown away every single day by stuff like this, but that just tells me, on the other side of the thumb, you got to start looking at it, why are we getting so blown away? This has happened so often in past, in the history, that, obviously, we're being gaslit or something to some degree about our knowledge of the technological level of government and industry. What do they have that they're not telling us? For example, I keep referring to this, lithium-ion batteries.
Yeah.
They were used during World War II. They powered the portable radio packs. Okay? And it wasn't until the late 90s, early 2000s before it became commonplace on the public market.
Yeah.
So the technology was there, obviously, a lot more antiquated and stuff. They've perfected it throughout the last 60 years. But we didn't even know that technology existed outside of the soldiers using it until... so what do they do? What do they have that we don't even know? We're not going to know for another 30 years.
I wonder if there's any threat of fire carrying those batteries around.
Oh yeah.
You're carrying that on your back, and all of a sudden it ignites.
Yeah, no, it can go off, not as bad, but it starts off at the same way as carrying a flamethrower tank. If you get hit and penetrates the battery can explode because it's a different type of explosion, but it'll still blow up. And you're probably still going to not make it, It's not as bad as, the flamethrower tank, as I said, but still. Anyway, while 1940 was going on as well, Nazi Germany began Operation Sea Lion, aborted the invasion of England. So, Operation Sea Lion, Hitler's plan to invade the British Isles.
Oh, okay.
I've talked with you about this a couple times before.
Really? I don't remember.
Well, whereas with Operation Overlord and all that stuff, we had all those landing crafts and everything. That was a revolutionary design. The Higgins craft was actually designed for the bayous in the swamps.
That's right. Yes, I do remember.
Because of the shallow drafts.
Yeah.
So, so that idea is revolutionary. The Germans had no concept of that. So they were, as with anybody else, at the time, when you do a sea invasion, you're just going to go and get up on the rowboats and then just row
down the ropes into smaller boats and then go ashore.
Yeah, or probably not rowboats, but powered boats, but still, they're not specifically engineered for invasion like the Higgins boat is.
Yeah.
It's the same exact way that they did invasions in the 1400s and the 1300s. The same technology. Until something new and innovative, happens, we use the same things. How many thousands of years do we use swords and boards? And then one day somebody discovered gunpowder, and then that changed warfare in 100 years,
And the tragedy of it all is, wars are quite an innovator.
Yeah, our best potential only comes out when we're killing each other.
Out of necessity to kill or be killed, let's figure this out.
Yep. Anyway, for the sake of time, I'm going to start belting things out here.
Go for it.
1941, Charles Lindbergh claimed that the, quote, British, Jewish, and Roosevelt administration, end quote, are trying to get the U.S. into World War II. Once again, beloved aviator Charles Lindbergh was a Nazi sympathizer and actually entertained Adolf Hitler, interacted with the guy himself. This guy, he was a monster. And there is a theory that he killed his own kid. The whole Lindbergh kidnapping thing. That's a whole discussion for another time. 1941, construction of the Pentagon began in Arlington County, Virginia, later to be completed on January 15th, 1943. This was designed by architect George Bergstrom and built by contractor John McShane. Construction was overseen by Leslie Groves. So Leslie Groves, of course.
Repaired after 9/11.
Yeah. And, wow, that's interesting. Huh.
What are you looking at me like that for?
The construction began on Pentagon on 9/11, 1941.
Yeah.
60 years later on the day.
Yeah.
Wow. That's kind of a coincidence.
It is, because those guys are unaware of.
I don't know.
They're doing the whole thing.
Well,
actually, the Pentagon, I think that was intended to be hit. It was the White House that didn't get hit.
Well, see, the thing is that the day before 9/11, so on September 10th, 2001, the Pentagon said something like they had misplaced $3 trillion or something crazy. And then the section of the Pentagon that got hit just so happened to be the area that had all the financial records. So $3 trillion.
That was a naval area.
Well, it's a big building. There's probably Navy stuff in there too. But
oh yeah, everything's in there. It's the Pentagon.
Well, yeah, but the
all
section
branches.
specifically that got hit, maybe among naval things, but it had the records of that $3 trillion, missing, just missing. So, there's a whole conspiracy, and we're going to get up to that actually here in a minute. 1941, FDR ordered U.S. Navy that any access ship found in U.S. waters should be shot on sight. Yeah. Okay, so this is before we got into the war. Yeah. We're still neutral.
Yeah.
1942, Enid Blyton published 5 on a Treasure Island, first of her famous 5 children's novels. Start of one of the best-selling children's series ever, with over 100 million sold. Wow.
Ooh, in 42, no less.
Yeah.
That's the percentage goes way up.
Yes, it does.
Population to sales.
Oh, yeah. And a darker moment in history on that same date, Transport 31 departed with French Jews to Nazi Germany. Yeah. But then
what does that mean?
Transport 31, that's the 31st transport.
You sound like I should know that.
Well, okay, this is during the Holocaust.
Yeah.
Okay? It's full of French Jews. This is the 31st transport. It's departing with French Jews to Nazi Germany to take them to, I don't know, Auschwitz or Bergen-Belsen or something.
Okay, yeah.
Like a train.
I'm forgetting that France was well conquered by then.
Oh, yeah, 1942, they were already done.
Okay, now it makes sense.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. But 1943, Allied armed forces conquered Salerno, Italy. Thank you, Patton. It's funny that they say Allied armed forces, not U.S. forces. Yeah. Like, in complete disregard towards orders he was given to stand down and let Montgomery take the glory of taking Palermo.
Yeah.
No.
See, that's where just politics always sneaks in somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, this is fighting for your lives, and politics trumps.
Yeah. And see, what's even more crazy is that Monty had a straight shot just down one side of the island. Mm-hmm. Patton had to go up and over through harder terrain the entire time. He had harder terrain, he had longer distance to go, he had more forces to fight, and he still got there first.
Well, didn't Monty get bogged down in some way?
Yeah, well, because there's massive defenses and everything, so...
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, it's the easiest path, so of course, it's going to be heavily defended.
Right.
But Patton was literally told to just sit and wait. Sit there while British soldiers got gunned down and just wait. Are you stupid? Anyway, 1943, Jewish ghettos of Minsk and Lida, Belarus were liquidated. I do not like that word in that context. That sounds completely awful. 1943 as well, the last German Q/pirate ship sunk near Easter Island / Rapa Nui. Whatever the hell that is. Were they plundering the Easter Island? Like they plundered everywhere else? What the hell is a Q pirate ship? Let me look that up here real quick. And no, we have 11 minutes left.
There's nothing to plunder on Easter Island.
Well, the Rapa Nui had. Okay, Q ship, also known as Q boats, decoy vessels. Okay. Whatever this is, I'm going to add this in the underbar of the description below. So the last German of the Q ship, special service ships or mystery ships. The German Q ship Skiff K heavily damaged the Russian submarine. So they were just kind of there to be distractions, I guess.
Sounds like.
I don't know. Anyway, 1944, a reconnaissance squadron of the U.S. 5th Armored Division, Victory Division, was the first Allied force to enter Nazi Germany. All right, that deserves a cheer. We're there.
Yeah.
We're there. 1945, Hideki Tojo, Japanese Prime Minister during most of World War II, attempted suicide rather than face war crimes tribunal but failed. Later, he was hanged. Task failed successfully. So, no honor for you. 1945 as well, physician William J. Kolff performed the first successful kidney dialysis using his artificial kidney machine in the Netherlands. Oh, wow. And that's 45.
That's way back there too.
Yeah, why is that not highlighted?
Yeah.
Why is it Oreo cream, not cookie? You know. We also have 1946, the first mobile long-distance car-to-car telephone conversation. Ooh.
Car-to-car.
Car-to-car long distance.
Jeez.
In 1946.
A lot going on in the 40s.
Oh, yeah. 1950, the first typesetting machine to dispense with metal type exhibited. Dispense with metal type. Typesetting machine. Oh.
Sounds like printing.
Okay, yeah. Okay, that makes sense. 1950 as well, Dick Tracy TV show sparked uproar concerning violence.
Dick Tracy? And his watch?
What do you do with his watch?
Talked into his watch.
Oh. Oh. For whatever reason, I thought it was... I was thinking of the Dick Van Dyke Show. I was just like, how the hell does that promote violence? No, Dick... I was thinking of a different Dick. That can be taken wrong out of context.
Absolutely can.
1951, Florence Chadwick became the first woman to swim the English Channel from England to France. Took 16 hours and 9 minutes. That is commendable endurance right there. In 1951, Igor Stravinsky's opera The Rake's Progress, with libretto by W.H. Auden and Chester Coleman, premiered at the Teatro La Fenice in Venice, Italy. Now, I'm not sure, but it might be, because rake is a slang, it's another slang for prostitute.
Rake?
Rake. Yeah.
Never heard that.
Or Lady of the Evening or something like that. And we have had many operas and stage shows with words that I cannot, repeat on air or around, polite company in their titles. So
the only thing besides the actual rake for the word that was used in the garden that I know that was used was to rake your car. That means and originally it was to lower it in the back.
In historical context, a rake, short for rake hill, analogous to hellraiser, was a man who was habituated to immoral conduct, particularly womanizing. Oh, so I was wrong. This was a male thing. Often a rake was also prodigal, wasting his usually inherited fortune on gambling, wine, women, and song, including lavish debts in the process. Oh, so the son of the current president would
now when I was, I don't know if you heard me or not about putting your car in a rake. If you think, okay, where the heck did that work?
Like scratching it or something?
No, you lowered it. Originally, it was to lower it in the back. Teens were putting their car in a rake back.
I guess to like rake it up on the back, so like a grater.
Did that come from Hellraisers in that term?
I don't know.
Oh, look at that Hellraiser! Put his car on a rake.
Car on a rake, meaning
1950s.
What exactly is rake? Formula One. Okay,
okay.
19. Raked drag rad. What does rake mean for cars? A high rake car has more visible difference in angle between the front of the car and the rear, where the diffuser is jacked up considerably and the front tray of the floor runs very close to the ground. A low rake car has a much reduced angle, and so the incline of the diffuser means it's much closer to the ground.
Yeah. So originally in the 50s, they were putting their cars close to the ground on the back.
Okay.
Then they went to the front, and then they went all over. Then they have hydraulics where the whole thing can go down. So, anyways, but I just when it said Hellraiser, I wonder if where that term came from.
That is a good question. If anybody wants to tell us in the comments section, that'd be very much appreciated. But we got to go. We got to continue on here. In 1952, West German Chancellor Konrad Adenauer signed a reparation pact for the Jewish people. All right, yeah, I'm for that. 1954, first Miss America TV broadcast. 19-year-old Lee Merriweather of California crowned 27th Miss America. All right. And actually, what was the 27th U.S. states? Florida. Okay. For a second, I thought that was going to be California. I'm like, wow, that's a weird coincidence. 1954 as well, we have 20.4 centimeters of rainfall at Brunswick, Maine. This is a state record. I wonder if that's a state record still. And I wonder if they use weird little coins that look like dumbbells. Oh wait, no, that's New Brunswick. Sorry. Inside joke about one of his dreams he had a long time ago. 1955, dedication of the first temple of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Europe. The Bern, Switzerland Temple. Oh, the Mormons have gone there now. All right. We also have Jan Manuel Fango in a Mercedes 1 season-ending Italian Grand Prix at Monza to take his third Formula 1 World Drivers' Championship by 17 points from the Englishman Sterling Moss. All right.
Oh, Sterling Moss.
Yeah.
Great racer.
1956, New York Yankees Yogi Berra tied career record for home runs at 236 by a catcher.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's do some yogiisms.
Yeah. Hurry up and wait.
Yeah.
1959, Baltimore starter Jerry Walker pitched all 16 innings as the Orioles edged the Chicago White Sox 1-0 at Memorial Stadium.
See, that's in today's world. No pitcher pitches that long. They rarely complete a game. Rarely.
Everybody's just so delicate.
Specialized.
Everybody's too delicate.
They got too much money in that arm. They don't want to overuse it.
Well, then what's the point of ridiculous?
I'm just trying to give you
Yeah,
justifications.
no, I know exactly the justifications, but it's just like, okay, I'm going to put all this money into specializing something, and then I'm not going to use it because it's too valuable. Then why the fuck do you have it? What's the point? Running into the ground, come on.
I bet you in 1958, if you would have gone and asked a baseball player what a closer was, they'd have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Do you know what a closer is? Probably not.
I barely know what the
the line.
The line.
A closer is a guy that comes in the last inning or the last few outs to close the game.
Okay.
You got a 1-run lead or whatever, and he closes it out, gets your 3 outs.
That makes sense. 1959 as well. Composer and jazz orchestra leader Duke Ellington won NAACP's Spingarn Medal for his musical achievements. All right. The Duke? Leader Duke Ellington?
Yeah.
Duke
Ellington.
Yeah. Okay. While that was going on, Congress passed a bill authorizing food stamps for poor Americans. But I know they existed before that because Mom was on food stamps during her childhood. So
No?
They
got commodities.
Oh.
They didn't get stamps.
Okay, so
They went down and got in line and got canned goods.
Oh.
And there's a lot of stuff, no labels on it, so you didn't know what you're opening when you went to eat it.
Oh, God.
You can have dinner. Oh, peaches, great.
Food's food.
Yeah.
So this is the start of food stamps.
Year again?
1959.
59. Okay.
59. And that's not even highlighted. Oh, that's not cool. Do I have any comments here? No, I do not. What about here? Oh, I do have some comments. All right. Anyway, in 1960, the Young Americans for Freedom meeting at home of William F. Buckley Jr. promulgated the Sharon Statement. Okay. 1961, founding of the World Wildlife Fund in Morges, Switzerland. So is that what would become the World Wildlife Foundation?
I have
or
no
something?
idea.
Oh. World Wildlife Fund. I think that is the predecessor. Let's take a look at this. Yeah. So World Wildlife Fund for Nature. That's what it is. The panda people who are too snowflakish to share an abbreviation with a wrestling, entertainment thing. 1962, the Beatles recorded Love Me Do, P.S. I Love You, and a slow version of Please Please Me, with Andy White on drums, Ringo regulated at the tambourine. That's embarrassing. It's like, here, play with this. Just give somebody, someone who's so bad in a hard metal band, regulate them to the triangle. Ding, 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 ding. Plays heavy metal.
Drummer, but
yeah.
But here's the deal on that. Look at it. It was recorded in '62, and it actually hit the States, big time. Just they had the top 10 big hits, whatever it is. But they didn't hit here till '64. Took 2 years to get it from the time of recording.
All right. What else do we got here? 1964 as well, Gillette's 20-year contract with Madison Square Garden and ABC to televise fights for free ended as Dick Tiger defeated Don Fulmer at Cleve Auditorium.
Yeah, they were big promoters of the fights. Gillette. But what is that for free bit in there?
For free?
Televised fights for free.
Free ended.
I guess they didn't have to pay anything.
I guess so. 1965, the 1st Cavalry Division of the United States Army arrived in Vietnam. That's not good.
No.
1 year later, Johnny Miller became the first New York Yankee to hit a home run on his first MLB at-bat. His second home run came on his final MLB at-bat in 1969. Wow.
He had 2 home runs. Oh, that's...
Well, at least he opened and closed well.
Yeah.
I'm not sure the middle area is...
It's quite so hot.
Yeah. 1966, Rolling Stones' 4th appearance on The Ed Sullivan Show, performed 3 songs, including Painted Black. All right. 1967, the A's dropped grievance filed with the National Labor Relations against C. Finley. Okay. 1967 as well, the Beatles' Magical Mystery Tour began with a bus driven somewhat aimlessly around Western England. And I guess that's a fun way to do it. Like, hey, where are we going to go? We also have in 1967, French President Charles de Gaulle visited Poland. All right. Once again, Charles de Gaulle, greatest, one of the greatest French leaders of all time. Well,
I don't know their history that well, but yeah.
He started
the resistance.
Yeah, the resistance during occupied, Nazi occupied times.
Yeah.
He called for that during, while he was in exile in the UK.
Okay.
He threw over the radio and started this whole network of code phrases like John has a long mustache, Emily's bike has a missing wheel, weird code names that mean things. Mm-hmm. And that is one of the reasons why the Normandy landings, D-Day, was so effective, because he's like, okay, the time's now, we're coming, blah blah, blow up the train tracks, knock down, the telephone wires, inhibit them from communicating, and slow down any form of counterattack. All the while, we also had them majority at Calais, with Patton leading all that fake stuff.
Yeah.
Massive operation.
Yeah.
No,
they had the Germans fooled for sure.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I don't think that landing would have ever worked.
No. Anyway,
it was already tough enough.
Yeah. We also have in 1967, we have Indian-Chinese border fights. All right, that happens. While that was going on, U.S. Surveyor 5 made the first chemical analysis of lunar material. Ooh.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. 3 years later, 1970, U.S. rock guitar legend Jimi Hendrix gave what became his final interview with NME's Keith Alliston in England. Good old Jimi Hendrix. So he died later, drug overdose, September 18th, 7 days. Wow. At 27.
Yeah, he is really...
Wow. Okay, he died. Well, all these guys always die young.
Yeah.
Like John Belushi. The candle that burns twice as bright lasts half as long. That's unfortunate.
Great guitarist, though.
Yeah, he was. 1970, Ford Motor Company introduced its first North American subcompact model, the Pinto.
Oh.
Wasn't that a massive disaster? Didn't it blow up or something?
Yeah. Your sister got one well used.
Oh, no.
And if you asked her, what did you get? I got a Pintero. I always love that.
I wonder if it was called the Pinto after the pinto bean, which makes you fart.
It's just ran on farts, I think.
Yeah.
I think she ditched it somewhere, just deserted it. I'm not sure, but I think she did.
And of course, Ford. Okay. Found on road dead or fix or repair daily. 1970 as well, Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine members released majority of 310 hostages from the Dawson's Field hijackings near Zarqa, Jordan. 56 hostages, mostly Jews and Israeli citizens, were held until September 25th. Well, stop stealing their land! So, 1971, Egypt adopts its constitution. All right. 1972, BART's. What is BART's? Bay Area Rapid Transit. Okay. Began service with a 26-mile or 42-kilometer line from Oakland to Fremont. Okay.
Under the water.
Yeah. Oh, okay. 1972 as well, the 20 Summer Olympic Games closed in Munich, German Federal Republic. FR? What is FR? German FR. German FR. Let me look that up here really quick. And I know we're probably already... we are over the hour, but whatever. What is FR being in German? Frau? No. Okay, well, anyway, we got to move on up. If anybody wants to answer this in the comment section, that'd be great. 1973, Chilean President Salvador Allende, the first elected Marxist president of a South American country, was deposed in a military coup led by General Augusto Pinochet. Not good. And, of course, he became a dictator. So
sounds about right.
But he was a Marxist, so,
yeah.
You know, I wouldn't want either of them.
No.
You're just trading one evil for another. 1976, Minnie Misoto bats for the White Sox after a 12-year hiatus, hitless. That's not good. 1977, U.S. crooner Bing Crosby, and crooner is a singer, right?
Yep.
Oh. And British singer David Bowie recorded duet Peace on Earth / Little Drummer Boy at ATV Elstree Studios near London for television special Bing Crosby's Merry Old Christmas.
Good Lord, I had no idea the two of those hooked up.
Oh, wow. And in September for December, no less.
Yeah.
Oh.
Christmas show.
Yeah. 1977 as well, the Atari 2600, originally known as the Atari Video Computer System, the Atari VCS, was released in North America, revolutionizing the video game industry. Yep. Man, how far we have come.
Yeah.
You know, how far we have come with our magic rectangles.
Yeah.
1977 as well, the U.S. Open men's tennis in Forest Hills, New York. Guillermo Vilas became the only Argentine to win the U.S. title, defeating Jimmy Connors 2-6, 6-3, 7-6, 6-0. Final time event played at West Side Tennis Club. Pardon me. I've been talking for over an hour. 1978, the last known person dies of smallpox. Medical photographer Janet Parker through infection in a laboratory in Birmingham, England. Well, that's a really sucky way to catch it and be the last one to die. Like, whoopsie deagle. 1980, Chile adopted its constitution. All right. 1985, Pete Rose of Cincinnati Reds got career hit 4,192 off Eric Show of the San Diego Padres, eclipsing Ty Cobb's record. And look at the differences in the photographs.
Yeah.
Like, it took that long.
Of course, he ended up getting banned from baseball. Not Ty Cobb.
Pete Rose. Which there's been multiple of those. Was he the gambling one?
Yeah.
Okay. There's been multiple of those too. 1985, Sri Lanka scored their first Test cricket victory by 149 runs versus India.
Cricket.
Thank you. 1986, Dow Jones Industrial Average suffered biggest one-day decline ever, plummeting 86.61 points to 1,792.89 to 237. Actually, what? What does this even mean? There's commas and decimals and million shares traded. Okay.
Yeah. I can't see. It lost or went down to 7. That's the points.
Okay.
And then it's the number of shares traded.
Okay.
Is the 287.3 million, whatever that is.
Okay. I don't know how to read the Dow. 1986 as well, Egyptian President Hosni Mubarak received Israeli Prime Minister Shimon Peres. So trying to talk, negotiate, whatever. Yeah. And that's another thing I wanted to add when you're talking about wars and all that stuff. Wars, like, when you really look back on it, and not just, when you look back, through the lens of history and all that stuff, wars always have and always will be pointless, no matter in the past, in the present, or in the future, because it starts off with a failure in communication. Then we kill each other for a while, and then we ended up talking to each other anyway. Then what's the point of killing each other? If we're going to talk anyway, then what's the point of the fighting? It's so stupid.
Because you can make a lot of money in between fighting.
What he said. Yeah, look no farther than the Rothschilds. They played both sides during the Napoleonic Wars. Anyway, 1986, 1987, 4th MTV Video Music Awards. Peter Gabriel won many times. All right. 1987 as well, a shootout at Jean Bertrand Arstadi's church in Haiti. 12 died. Yikes. Shootout in a church.
Haiti's a mess right now.
Yikes, yeah.
Man, it's Haiti's
well,
a mess.
Apparently they were a mess back then, too.
Roaming and just,
Well, that's pretty much here, too. Gangs all over the place over here.
This is really out of control completely.
It's pretty out of control here, too. Do they have fecal matter in their streets? I don't think so. I think it's kind of worse here. Huh. You literally can't step in, shit. 1988, 1/3 of the population argued for Estonia autonomy. So, not the majority, but they want their own autonomy. 1988 as well, lost steamship, the Ship of Gold SS, or SS Central America, was sunk in 1857, rediscovered in the waters of off North Carolina by a group led by Tommy Gregory Thompson using Bayesian search theory. Huh.
I don't know what that means, but it worked.
Bayesian search theory. Let's look that up here really quick. Okay. It is the application of Bayesian statistics to the search for lost objects. Okay.
Didn't tell us a thing.
Oh, true. I have the link to this Wikipedia. Will be in the under description. Procedure: formulate as many reasonable hypotheses as possible about what may have happened to the object. So yeah, the whole thing here. So this is really interesting, actually.
Yeah. Hey, it worked.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep this to read later. We also have 1988 sports aid jogging to feed the world. Okay, like I guess an event.
Sports aid, yeah.
Oh, okay, sports aid jogging to feed the world. Okay, that's the hyphen is kind of weird. 1989, Drexel formally pled guilty to security fraud. 1991, Atlanta Braves Kent Merker, Mark Wohlers, and Alejandro Pena pitched first combined no-hitter in National League, defeating San Diego Padres 1-0. Nice.
Yeah, it's a no-hitter, not a perfect game.
New York Yankees final game at Baltimore Orioles Memorial Stadium. In 1992, Hurricane Iniki hit Kauai, Hawaii. Three died and 8,000 were injured. Whoa. That's a massive discrepancy.
Yeah.
3 people died and 8,000 were injured. You think with that many injuries there'd be at least one more death?
Yeah.
Like what? How? I mean, like, bravo, but like how? 1995, Eastern Tennessee began using new area code 423. All right. While that was going on, Ohio's Governor Vinovich proclaimed Cleveland Indians Day. What a name, Vinovich for Ohio. We also have Soyuz TM-22 landed. Soyuz TM-22. What is that? Let's look that up here really quick. Soyuz TM-22. Okay, so it's just a space mission. Click on it. There we go. It's not telling me anything conditionally in the first part of the wiki there, so I'm just going to add that to the underbar if anybody wants to read more about that. We also have 1996, Union Pacific Railroad purchased Southern Pacific Railroad.
Ah, okay.
All right. 365 days later, 1997, after a nationwide referendum, Scotland voted to establish a devolved parliament within the United Kingdom. Just stripping away their freedom more and more. Poor Scotland. I'm fully in support of a independent Scotland, but as I've said multiple times, and I'm not sure if I've said it to you, pretty sure I have, but just to reiterate, Scotland, unfortunately, right now, with how everything is, cannot leave and become independent. Because when that does, then it has to register to rejoin NATO and the European... Well, it's not in the European Union anymore because of England.
Right.
But at least rejoin NATO. So in that time gap, now the waters off Scotland are pretty much free for Russia to go through with no diplomatic repercussions.
We have talked about that.
Yeah. So, yeah. That's worrisome. In 1997, 1998, Independent Counsel Ken Starr sent a report to the U.S. Congress accusing President Bill Clinton of 11 possible impeachable offenses. Yikes.
Ken Starr, yeah.
Yeah. Moving on up to the next millennium, in the year 2000, activists protested against the World Economic Forum meeting in Melbourne, Australia. Remember when everybody was like, we are the 99% the Wall Street protests and all that stuff, and the government and media and corporations somehow took all of those people and got them to be for, all the 1%. Now they're all their soldiers. Like, what?
Yeah.
How do they flip them? That is wild. That is wild. Huh. 2001, attempt by passengers and crew of the United Airlines Flight 93 to retake control of their hijacked plane from terrorists caused the plane to crash in Pennsylvania field, killing all 64 people on board.
And Todd Beamer?
Beamer, yeah.
Let's roll. That's a famous line.
Let's roll. Yep. Also have, let's see here, 2001, Betty Farmer, American jazz and cabaret singer, killed in World Trade Center attack at the age of 62. So she must have been there.
Yeah, of course.
Yep. Then we have, for whatever reason this is highlighted, 2001 as well, Jay-Z releases album Blueprint featuring contributions by Eminem and Kanye West. Okay, that's not even really like historically significant. And why is that in between 9/11 events?
I don't
know. It's like we have 9/11, 9/11, Kanye West, 9/11. Like, 2001, terrorists hijacked a passenger plane and crashed it into the Pentagon, causing the deaths of 125 people. And of course, we have this. Terrorists, 2 passenger planes were hijacked by Al-Qaeda terrorists, crashing into New York's World Trade Center towers, causing the collapse of both and deaths of 2,606 people. And let's not forget World Trade Center 7, which was reported as collapsed live while it was still standing in the background. Remember that?
No.
Yeah. Like here, let me bring this up.
Saying?
They were reporting the World Trade Center 7, the building, has collapsed.
Okay, and
but in the background, it was still standing. But they were reporting it live as having been collapsed. So
maybe that wasn't a live picture of it being standing. Maybe that was.
Well, no, it was live feed. She was out like there, like.
Oh, okay.
WTC 7 not collapsed. Let's see here. News. Oh, they're trying to here it is. They're trying to censor it here. Let's see. Here we go. Hijacked planes have crashed into the World Trade Center's terrorist attacks. The World Trade Center building 7 is right behind her, and this is when she was live because she was in a building. You can see the window behind her.
Yeah.
She's live there at the scene, so it's not a picture behind her. It's live.
You don't know that.
I do.
Could be a picture behind her. She could be in studio reporting.
No, she was in a building live on the thing. Here's the actual video. See?
Apart from the emergency workers, that was done by.
See, that's the window frame right there. She's in a building.
Much earlier today.
Anyway, I'm gonna have this in the underbar. This is one of the conspiracies. Like they were reporting that the building had collapsed because they were planning on having it collapse according to conspiracy theories, which I'm a very strong believer in, but I'm not gonna push it.
Please don't.
But no, people go and do your own research. Don't listen to what I have to say.
There you go.
Do your own stuff. I always say that.
I agree. You do say that.
Utilize me as a stepping point, but don't utilize me as a source. Okay? That's fair.
Anyways, let's give just a moment of time for 9/11.
Yeah. Moving on up to 2002, through extreme and coordinated effort, the Pentagon was rededicated after repairs were completed exactly 1 year after the attack on the building.
And we were there a few months later.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah.
No, well, it was 2004.
I thought we went in.
Was it 2002?
No, I thought
no.
Couldn't have been 4.
I graduated in 05. What was I?
You were a freshman.
I was a freshman when it happened.
Yeah, and I think
was I a sophomore or a junior?
I believe you were a junior.
Okay, so that was my 3rd year. So that has to be
2 years.
So that's 2003, 2004.
Yeah.
2000. So the summer of 2003. So 2 years later.
Yeah.
So, all right. Yeah. We also have 2003, speaking of that, Swedish Foreign Minister Anna Lindh died after being assaulted and fatally wounded the day prior, September 10th. Wow. That's not cool.
And you remember going to the Pentagon and going up those escalators? Boy, did they pick us out quick.
Yeah.
We don't belong here. Tourists. And he was real nice.
Yeah, he was.
Like a soldier, right, or a police officer? Or something.
Security.
Security.
But they were strapped.
Oh yeah, everywhere was.
Yeah. I mean, it's the Pentagon. That's the HQ of the U.S. Army.
Yeah.
If anywhere's going to be strapped, it's going to be the Pentagon, the Capitol, the White House. Like any of those. Martha's Vineyard.
Okay.
2003 as well, the Cartagena Protocol on biosafety entered into effect. All right, so what is that? Copy, paste this. All right. It is an international agreement on biosafety as a supplement to the Convention on Biological Diversity, effective since 2003. So we have a couple links here that I'm going to put in here. So. Link and link. All right, moving on up, and we are like grossly over time here now. 2004, all passengers were killed when a helicopter crashed into the Aegean Sea. Passengers included included Patriarch Peter the Seventh of Alexandria and 16 others, including journalists and bishops of the Greek Orthodox Church of Alexandria. That's a big hit. Like,
yeah,
wow.
Yeah.
That's kind of borderline. Makes me wonder if it was an actual crash or something. A lot of big people in there. 2005, Pride and Prejudice, the film adaptation of Jane Austen's novel of the same name, starring... Sorry about that, I had to sneeze immediately. Starring Keira Knightley and Elizabeth Bennet, was released. Alright. 2005 as well, the State of Israel completed its unilateral disengagement from the Gaza Strip. 2 years later, Russia tests the largest conventional weapon ever, the father of all bombs. And conventional weapon being a non-nuclear.
Yeah.
So, the U.S. made the Moab, the mother of all bombs, and then they made the FOAB. So, we also have 2009, Sweden emerged from the recession after witnessing GDP growth of 0.2 in the second quarter. 0.2%. So, all right. And while that was going on, the Brazilian economy technically left their recession when GDP grew 1.9% in the second quarter of 2009 after having fallen in the first quarter of 2009 and the last quarter of 2008. So, whatever this means, economics, whatever, yada yada.
Well, you have to have at least two quarters of economic decline. So then it was broken when it went up.
Good. 2012, Japan nationalized 3 of the disputed Senkaku Islands. Yeah, the war with China over land and sea and all that stuff. Yeah. 2012 as well, the U.S. consulate in Benghazi, Libya, was stormed, looted, and burnt down, killing 5 people, including the U.S. ambassador.
Oh,
Yikes!
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Whoa!
Yep.
Yikes! While that was going on, the U.S. was warned by Moody's that AAA credit rating is at risk if lawmakers fail to produce a long-term debt reduction plan.
And you notice that was on 9/11. That was a mess up.
So they were trying to, but that was 11 years after.
Yeah. So
they were trying to do like a little thing. Okay.
Well, it's just bad.
Yeah.
It'll never happen. And I can't remember an interview of the guys that were up on the top of the building trying to, they're SEALs or SEAL types. I don't know which division of the service they were in. Protecting that thing, and they were so outnumbered they still fought it off. A lot of them were just severely wounded. Yeah, it was just a mess.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of instances in history of overwhelming forces coming, and sometimes defenders win, sometimes the defenders lose. Like the Battle of Alamo.
Yeah.
It was 1-9 or something
more.
It was less than 200 people. It was 193 people defending.
Yeah.
And the Mexican army was 3,800, 4,000 people.
Yeah.
So it was just insurmountable, and they held out for days.
Then you get I'll reference the movie 300.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, 300 is not really historically accurate in the movie because they also had it was 300 Spartans. That part was true, but there was 10,000 Carthaginians or whatever with them as well. So it was more than just the 300 guys. They had now versus Xerxes' army of hundreds of thousands. It was not even matter, but still it wasn't just 300. So they romanticized it. And the funny thing about that movie, that movie contains so much slow motion scenes that if you sped all the slow motions up to normal speed, the entire movie would be 35-40 minutes long.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was that much slow motion.
Wow.
Ridiculous. Anyway,
that saves the budget.
I know, right? That's a trick.
Yeah.
We also have 2014, South African athlete Oscar Pistorius was found not guilty of murdering his girlfriend Riva Steenkamp. He was later found guilty of culpable homicide. Whatever that means, okay. 2015, The Martian, based on the novel by Andy Weir, directed by Ridley Scott and starring Matt Damon, premiered at the Toronto International Film Festival. And I had to say it that way because have you ever seen Team America World Police?
No.
It's from the creators of South Park. It's all puppets and everything.
Oh, okay.
But they had Matt Damon's character in there, but all he can say was his own name, like some kind of Pokemon. He's like Matt Damon, Matt Damon, Matt Damon, Matt Damon, Matt Damon. He was so ridiculous. We also have 2015, a large crane collapsed, killing more than 100 people in Mecca, Saudi Arabia. Yikes. And while that was going on, ex-governor of Texas, Rick Perry, became the first candidate to drop out of the race for the Republican nomination. So I guess for presidency? I don't know. Rick Perry?
Yeah, Rick Perry. He was the governor.
Yeah.
And he did. He was a secretary of something in someone's administration too. But yeah, he had a huge gap. He went brain dead on stage. He couldn't remember. And he's looking around at other debaters. No one's gonna help him out.
So he had a Mitch McConnell moment?
Yeah, he had a brain fart. That pretty well killed him.
I need you to stay close to the mic because they probably can't hear you from half a mile away down there.
You can hear a coin drop downstairs on that mic.
If you scream. 2015, Sofia Vergara of Modern Family and Kaylee Cuoco Sweeting of The Big Bang Theory were named highest earning TV actresses at $28.5 million by Forbes. Together or each?
Each.
Okay. Huh, that's cool. 2017, Hurricane Irma left 7 million U.S. homes without power in Florida and Georgia. Yeah, Hurricane Irma, one of the biggies. So, I believe that's the one, because there's a guy in our Discord server named Ghost Virus.
Yeah.
And he lived, I believe this is his story when he was at, because he lived in Florida for a while and such. I'm not sure where he's at now, but when Irma hit, he's been through several hurricanes and everything. But he was sitting there with his girlfriend at the time, I think, or his wife, I don't know. He was there with someone, I believe. And this is his story told to me, so I'm not remembering everything 100%. But the winds lifted him up a little bit on his balcony. He's like, okay, we are out of here.
I think you're talking about Katrina. That was the real big one down
there. Well, that did hit Florida, but that was mainly for Louisiana and stuff. Katrina.
Oh, okay.
As far as I'm aware.
No, Katrina went right through Florida. Just tore it up.
Well, yeah, tore up Florida, but Louisiana got really screwed. You know, when the dikes broke and all that whatnot.
Yeah.
St. Louis, not St. Louis, no, New Orleans.
Yeah.
New Orleans got destroyed.
Yeah.
Which, like, okay, here, I have a brilliant idea. Let's build a city in a bowl that's under sea level on the coast in a hurricane common area. Yeah. That is a brilliant idea. Move!
We had originally a natural barrier because all that was swampland. And let a hurricane hit, but it's still hitting land, but nobody's living down in those swamps.
Now they are.
And now it's all built up.
You want to know something kind of ironic? Washington, D.C. was built on swampland.
Yes, I knew that.
And it certainly acts like it.
The swamp.
Drain the swamp. Drain the swamp. Yeah, well, good luck.
Yeah, good luck with that.
2017 as well, UN imposed new export sanctions on North Korea. All right. 2018, U.S.-backed militia began final push to oust militants from Hejaz, Syria, last area under Islamic State control. Ooh. While that was going on, former UN Security General Kofi Annan lied in state in Accra, Ghana, ahead of a state funeral. Yeah. So, like, he's lying, not fabricating misinformation. Right. He's like dead. He's like
in state, lying in state.
2018 as well, imprisoned Brazilian ex-president Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva abandoned his presidential campaign. Well, because he was in prison. So that just reminds me, like, all of a sudden, a certain orange man's mugshot flashed into my brain. But you're looking like... 2018 as well, Russia launched its largest military exercise since 1981, involving 300,000 personnel, with Chinese troops participating. That's a major yikes. Yeah. Like, what are they planning?
Yeah.
While that was happening, 2018 as well, suicide bombing in Nangarhar province, Afghanistan, killed 68 and injured an additional 165. Yikes. I've been saying yikes a lot. There's a lot of yikes things happening. 2019, water detected for first time on planet outside of solar system on exoplanet K2-18b, 110 light years away, in findings published in Nature Astronomy. How the hell can you detect water from 110 light years away?
I don't know.
What? Like, atmospheric composition, molecular... Like, how do you see that? It's a pixel. Like, what?
Yeah.
How did, what? I don't understand. 2021 20th anniversary of 9/11 marked by Brandon and former quote-unquote presidents Barack Obama and Bill Clinton in New York. Notice that they didn't have George Bush there. They skipped him. They just had Clinton.
Yeah.
Like, what a scum. What is the scum-sucking move? Like, it's 9/11. We're supposed to get together, disregard our differences and come together, in remembrance of those who died.
Yeah.
And they made it a spectacle to make it known that they didn't invite Trump because of that reason. But they also, there's no George W. Bush there.
Yeah, I was just going to say, and he was the president at the time. If anybody should be there, it should be him. Yeah.
So I'm not inviting you to my birthday party. Freaking you 5-year-old immature scum-sucking crap.
Move on.
Seriously. No respect for these people. 2022, Ukraine's military says it has retaken 30,000 square kilometers during a rapid counteroffensive in eastern Ukraine in the last few days. Oh, wow. But yeah, the war in Ukraine has been going on.
Yeah, I did hear something about them finally on their counteroffensive. It was supposed to be this summer. Kind of a big flop.
Well, this was this was this time last year. So
last year.
2022.
Okay, yes, 22.
We're in 23.
Yeah. It'd be news today.
Yeah. Well, speaking of 23, though, this was actually here last night. So this was, and that makes sense because it's. Well, speaking of BART, we talked about BART earlier. 2023. This is today. Today.
Yeah.
San Francisco Bay Area Rapid Transit BART retired the last of the original 1972 train cars. All cars are now BART's Train of the Future series, first introduced in 2018. So let's take a look at that. BART's Train of the Future. Okay. So it looks like a normal train.
Yeah.
Maybe its operational is better. Oh, look at the front though. That's interesting. It has like an angle. Huh.
Probably aerodynamic.
Yeah, that makes sense. But that's interesting. So we spoke about BART earlier, being started entirely, right?
Yep.
So that's interesting. Boom, boom. And then
I rode by BART just to ride. I went over to Oakland. Just so I could ride it under the bay.
Did you eat any shorts?
Shorts?
Yeah. BART, eat my shorts? Simpsons?
Oh, I'm not a Simpson guy.
Hey, that's what his catchphrase used to be, eat my shorts.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Well. And then we also, because this was here last night when I was researching and writing, because this is a planned event. Now, this was new today. Stanislaw Wigera, Polish airplane designer and aviator who won the Aviation's Challenge in 1932, died in a plane crash at the age of 31. Wow, so that's interesting. That makes me think, is this politically motivated in any way? Because he's young, and he's an aviator dying in an airplane crash. That's a little ironic,
Yeah.
And he's Polish, and there's a bunch of stuff going on in Europe right now, as we were just talking about, So, I don't know. That's a little weird. I don't know. So, this is going to be something we're going to be talking about for days to come. But anyway, that shall conclude the show. I know we are over a half hour over the hour, so once again, please check the underbar of the description for any links you may find interesting, including but not limited to all things Omni Coalition. Please go check out our Linktree. You can go to our various social medias, video sharing, streaming, affiliates. We, of course, have all of the sources that we use, including this website. All of the links that we've gathered throughout the show will be added after this stream, as I've said several times before. Anyway, for your dose of Past Events Daily, we stream every day at 11 in the morning Pacific Time, which is 12 Mountain, 1 Central, and 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, respectively. For all of you and all of us, I am Xander.
Golden Moon.
And you, viewer, are you. Until you catch us tomorrow, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Toodles! And, Godspeed to all the 9/11 victims and all the families and whatnot. My heart goes out to all of that, of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
This day is a day of remembrance, people. Keep that in mind.